Hi, I'm Mark Mancini from VRBO Outstanding and Vacation Home Mastery. This week's episode is on search filters for VRBO, so stay tuned. And welcome back. Now, last episode we talked about the Airbnb filters. This episode is going to be equally as long, maybe even longer, to talk about the VRBO filters because there are a lot of these filters, all right? They have a lot of data in them that we need to go over. So, without further ado, we're going to go into the filters, but again, remind you, Vacation Home Mastery. It's a $197 course. It is guaranteed to get you more bookings or your money back. We've had dozens of people sign up. They've all been responding and saying, Mark, this course has just changed everything. We've implemented 2 things. We've seen results. We implemented 2 more. We saw more results. We can't wait to implement them all because they're slowly going through the 3-hour course it is. So I'm not going to sell you anymore, but I am going to tell you all this you're going to learn in this and all my other YouTube videos goes to the next level in this course. So you got to check it out. Now I'm going to move to the side again this week because we're going to show you the screens along the side so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with these filters. All right. So when people do a search on VRBO, they're usually putting in, again, the location, the dates, and a lot of times they're putting in the number of people and if they have a pet with them. Now the first filter you'll see, because vacation rentals by owner, which is what VRBO stands for, is designed for vacationers, okay? So you'll see the most popular thing is at the top. You know, is it a house? Maybe it might be a condo instead, or it might be a townhouse or an apartment, whatever. It specifies this is a house, okay? Next one, pool. Obviously, if you've got a pool, you want to put this there. Pets allowed. 53% of your guests are going to travel with pets, okay? So be seen. Now, the next 3 are pet peeves of mine. Now, I did this in Islamorada. Now, if you were in Colorado looking for a ski resort, I'm sure this would be different. I have an issue with beachfront, waterfront, and oceanfront. Some people will take them literally and some don't. I take them literally, okay? Oceanfront and waterfront. Well, here we are in the ICW over here. This is waterfront. This is not oceanfront, but people will lie, okay? And there's no VRBO police. The other thing is beachfront. My idea of a beach is you walk on sand and you walk into the water just like that. But especially in the Keys, there might be sand, but they have something called riprap, which is these rocks, and you walk on rocks 2 to 4 feet down into the water. To me, that is not beachfront. Okay, you're oceanfront, but you're not beachfront. You're gonna have all your neighbors lying. Hopefully your pictures will shed the light, and your description, which we'll go over in our course in detail, is what's going to make sure that they know they're booking beachfront, oceanfront, waterfront, etc. properly, and you set the right expectations. Now, we talked about the Price is Right, not the price. Yeah, the Price is Right pricing, right? You want to have it. You don't want to have a 0-0 number. You want to be like $7.95. You don't want to be $8.10. You don't want to be $8.25. You're going to be $7.95. You don't want to scare people away. They're going to have a limit, maybe $300 a night, maybe $500 a night, maybe $700 a night. Even numbers. Make sure you're below there. So, again, if you're $749 a night or $750 a night, you'll be under $800, but you're going to be over the $700. All right. So again, you could lower that $50 if you can offset it with maybe a higher cleaning rate, right? Or a management fee or something to bury the price into. All right. So that is important because people will search and they will look for what is the nightly rate. VRBO is different than Airbnb. Airbnb wants this transparency thing, right? Where they include the cleaning and any other fees along with it and jacks up the price. VRBO is not. VRBO will show you the actual price. So that's why it's important to have the Price is Right pricing. Minimum bedrooms and minimum bathrooms. Now there is a formula I have in my VRBO Outstanding course with how many bedrooms and beds you can put in your home based upon the number of bathrooms. We're not going to go into that here, but you can see there is a difference with VRBO and Airbnb. Airbnb will also have a line for the number of beds. VRBO does not. It's based upon bedrooms, okay? It works not entirely in your favor if you've got multiple beds in a room. So if you've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with VRBO, people may not know you've got 2 rooms that are maybe 2 queens or 2 full beds that can sleep more people, okay? It's just per bedroom. So keep that in mind as well. You've got the check boxes for kitchen, outdoor space, living room, and dining room. Look, if you're renting a home, if you're in VRBO, it's a home. But the only place that's questionable is outdoor space. Now, what is outdoor space? It's not defined. If you've got a seating area outside, a picnic table even, that's outdoor space, okay? So I'd be pretty liberal with that interpretation of it. Again, set their expectations properly, but outdoor space, well, it's really kind of, you know, your interpretation of that. Now, the next page we're going to go into is something I have an issue with you guys checking in this box. Free cancellation. You should not have a free cancellation policy. You should have either a no cancellation policy, or at worst 90 days before the check-in. They're entitled, more than 90 days before the check-in, they're entitled to a full refund. Under 90 days, nope, you don't want that guest, okay? So that is something I'm okay with you not having checked. Now, the next one are going to be amenities. And you're going to look over here and you see, well, pool, yeah, private pool. Private pool, be accurate. I had one of my neighboring properties. They did not have a private pool. It was a shared pool, but they marked it as private. So I inquired as a guest saying, I didn't see pictures of your private pool. Well, it's private to the community. That's not a private pool, okay? All you're going to do is piss people off when they get there and they find out they can't go in the pool naked, or they want privacy by the pool, because there is no private pool. It's a public pool, okay? Air conditioning. God, I hope you have that. This is America or Canada, right, if you're watching. Internet, Wi-Fi. God, you better have that, please. TV, we talked about that last week. Have at least one. You should have one in every bedroom and living room. Otherwise, you're not going to get a 5-star review. Hot tub, it's great to have if you can have one, but if you can't, I get it. Washer and dryer. Again, we talked about that last week. If you're doing at least 7-night stays, you got to have a washer and dryer. Get something small, but get something. People need a place to do their laundry, especially if they're staying there 2 weeks at your vacation resort in your beautiful house. Got to have it. Stove. Well, if you have a house, hopefully you've got a stove there. I don't see many people using that as a checkbox, though. Parking, again, I don't see people filtering by parking. Let's see. Bed linens provided. For the longest time in the Myrtle Beach area, linens were not provided in most places. You were either had to pay extra to rent them, or you had to bring your own. I know it sounds strange, but there are certain locations, so don't take it as a given. I'm not sure, because I sold my place a couple of years ago in the Myrtle Beach area, but even for years before that, we always provided free linens, even though my competitors were $500 cheaper. They didn't include linens, and they rented linens for $500. And I explained to people, yes, they're $500 cheaper because they don't supply linens. All right. So yes, that is a thing still. Grill. God, you better have a grill. Please, for the love of God, get a grill. But make sure it's in a safe area, and make sure you have propane for them. Patio or deck, you either have one or you don't. Same thing with the rest of your kitchen stuff. Oven, microwave, dishwasher, you should have it. Balcony, you know, either have it or you don't. King size bed, just like Airbnb. People will search for that king bed. I told you, we replaced 2 queen beds with 2 king beds. We dropped 20 grand in new headboards and 2 Tempur-Pedic king adjustable beds because people spend 1/3 of their time in bed. It is that important. There's a checkbox that people will use to make sure they have king beds where they go on vacation. Garden and backyard, that goes hand in hand with having a pet. Some people want their dogs to run around the backyard and poop over there. Can't blame them. Iron and board. This is interesting because Airbnb just had iron. I guess they don't mind you ironing on their wooden kitchen table and putting burn marks in there, right? But with VRBO, they don't want that. They want you to iron an ironing board. Easy checkbox to have, and I'm telling you, you should have it. People will ask for it. fireplace. Again, if you're in a coastal area, if you're by the water, probably not important, but if you're in a ski place, it probably is a little bit more important than people realize. Now, next page, crib. We talked about that. If you supply a crib, make sure your cleaners clean it. If it's broken, they report it, get one there immediately. If you're not a kid-friendly place like I am, don't supply them. If people ask about it, tell them there's a place you can rent them, or they could bring their own, but that's it. Same thing with the kids' high chair, all right? Now, people can search on VRBO for 4 stars and higher. This is the importance of having a 4 to 5 star review each and every time, preferably 5 star, okay? Because we had an episode on 5-star reviews here. If you've got a 4-star average, that's 4 out of 5. That's 80%. That's 1 away from a C, which is average, okay? I have an issue with that. But VRBO will let you search based upon 4 stars or higher. Now, the other thing, which is really interesting, they have checkboxes for highly rated for cleanliness and location, okay? The #1 reason you get dinged in reviews is cleanliness. And I talked about this in a couple other videos. The most important reason people book you is photographs. I did 2 videos on photos. The #1 reason you don't get a 5-star review is cleanliness. I talked about how to hire fast and fire, or how to hire slow and fire fast. And then another episode on how to find good cleaners, how I use a simple trick to get the best cleaners out there. All right. So location, you either have a good location or you don't. If you oversell and underdeliver, you're going to get dinged. But hopefully you do it properly and people will check by location. Next one, house rules, pets allowed. 53% of people travel with their pets. I did a video right here on bringing your dog. We don't allow pets in any of our homes. We allow dogs. We don't want cats. We don't want birds. We don't want anything else. No, dogs. Dogs only, otherwise leave them home. Events allowed. Unlike Airbnb, VRBO will let you do events and they can charge extra for this, okay? One of my homes, as you know, is a wedding venue. And we host events, so we check this box. But if you don't host events, you're unsure about it, obviously not important to check. Smoking allowed. And even if you allow it outside, don't check it because people will say, well, you said smoking allowed. And they're going to act stupid. Don't check this box. For the love of God, don't. All right. Property is good for families. Now, that should be a given. You should always have that box checked. I'm not sure, though, if people check that box, though, to do a search. Finally, the next one, this is in Alamorada. It's neighborhoods. This is something that's really cool that VRBO does and Airbnb doesn't do yet. Hopefully that'll change. Is locations and neighborhoods, because there are some places that people want to be in Alamorada if they know it, right? So, some people want to be in Lower Mat because, there's some cool things about Lower Mat. Some people want to be in Upper Mat. So just be mindful of that. Next, you've got your locations, your beachfront, waterfront, oceanfront. Again, beach. Again, you want to be accurate and honest with people. Lake, village, mountains, ski in and out, right? Just does them all. Rural, golf course. So, look, if you're near a golf course, you're not on the golf course, okay? Don't embellish. But people will look for places that are either on the golf course, that are beachfront, not waterfront, beachfront. And they're going to come to your place and be disappointed if you embellished it. Next is the property type. Is it a house? Is it a villa? Cottage? This should be pretty self-explanatory and apparent that you're not presenting something that isn't. I mean, if it's a houseboat, it's a houseboat. Okay, it's a boat. It's not a house. It's a boat. All right. So make sure you're accurate with that. It's pretty self-explanatory right there. Next page. Hotel, guest house, RV, chalet. Yes, pretty self-explanatory. But next, nearby activities. I hope you know every single nearby activity. You check almost all these boxes. Now, when they say nearby, that's a liberal interpretation. How nearby is nearby? Less than an hour, right? And most of these should be in your area. Now, in the Keys, they don't have skiing or snowboarding anywhere nearby, so that's one I won't check. Horseback riding, there is no horseback riding in the Keys. It's way too hot for them. But there are a bunch of other things. There's actually a zoo and wildlife area nearby. So absolutely, you know, shopping, yeah, there's shopping. There's always shopping nearby, right? So make sure you check as many of these as possible, because there might be people who are looking for snorkeling or scuba nearby. And if you're near water, there's snorkeling or scuba nearby. I guarantee you. Now, is the last page of the search. This is what's pretty important. Premier host. If you're a premier host, which is the Airbnb superhost for VRBO, people will often check if you are a premier host or not. Okay, so this is something that people will search by. Again, the safety, you should always have smoke detectors. We have an episode on smoke detectors, and we're going to go into, in that episode, not in this one, my issue with carbon monoxide detectors, because I don't believe there should be a box to check for this, because many coastal towns don't need one. It's not required. Next, accessibility. Wheelchair. Your place better be ADA compliant if you check that box. Don't put wheelchair accessible if it's, you know, got a bump here and there, if you don't have at least a 36-inch wide door going to the bathroom. Honestly, and then if you've got a bathroom or shower that doesn't have handrails, look, it may be wheelchair accessible, but if you don't have handrails in the shower, you're doing someone a disservice. Do not check this box, okay? Please, for the love of God, don't do that. You don't want someone going to the place and then they can't take a shower. They have to find another place and ruin their vacation. Now, elevators. Some of you have elevators in your home. Elevators are a great selling point. Elevators are toys for kids. So you want to make sure in your signed rental agreement, if there is any issue with the elevator that is caused by your guests, they are responsible, because we've got an elevator in our house here. It's great. You come in from food shopping, you put everything in there, you bring it up. Awesome. Suitcases. You go shopping, or you go vacation, you put the suitcases in the elevator, you send them down to the first floor, load them in your car. It's great. You don't bang up your walls. But kids will use them as toys, and you need to have that in your signed rental agreement, because as we know, the repair bills for them are not cheap. Virtual tour. There are some people that, and it's rare, but they want to see the house in an actual virtual tour. Now, VRBO, if you recall, they allow videos and they do 3D virtual tours. That is why it's important. You upload a video and a virtual tour, if you have it, to your VRBO listing. It's well worth it. We even talked about that in our episode on taking photographs, because your photographer should have the Matterport 3D hardware. Finally, booking options. We talked about this with Airbnb. Instant confirmation. Absolutely. You should always be instant book. We'll go into that in our course. Get a signed rental agreement. Get deposits. Instant book is no problem. I'll book a first timer, no problem. I'm not going to sweat it. Pay later with the firm. That's something where I haven't seen where to set that up in VRBO, but they've got some kind of pay like $200 a month or whatever it is, and you finance your vacation. I'm not sure what kind of guest you're going to get with that. So yes, you could look for it, and maybe it'll help some people out, but do you want that guest? And look, everyone's got a different budget and different place in life, but if you're having to finance a vacation like this, I have concerns. They might cancel. They might be demanding. They might try to get out by lying. You just got to be very careful with that guest. And I'm sorry if I'm stepping on toes, but I just got to speak like it is as a host, because I'm here protecting you guys. I can't be as politically correct as some other people, all right? I'm just going to shoot right from the hip. Next is going to be discounts. Weekly discount, monthly discount, and new listing discount. All right. So I'm just going to step over here. Well, I'm not going to step over yet. But let's talk about these real quickly. I'm not big on discounts. One thing you can do, though, if you're a 7-night minimum, you could put in a higher nightly rate and offer a weekly discount, and it looks better for you. Again, I don't know how many people are checking these boxes, but one way is to raise your nightly rate, have a 7-night minimum, and then offer a weekly discount, so you still get that same rate. You just went about it a different way. I don't do it, but if you want to be creative and try it out, let me know how you make out. Finally, look at the sort by. You'll see you can sort by a couple different ways. You can sort by price, recommended, and rating. Now, recommended is going to be your reviews, right? Your 5 stars. How many people recommend you? And then your rating, obviously 5 stars. You want to, all of my homes are 5 stars, all 5 stars, no 4 stars ever. So when people look and they sort by rating, I'm way at the top, if not at the top, because I have a perfect 5-star score. That is why it is so damn important to get 5 stars every single review. I cannot be as clear about that as possible. I want to be as top of that list as absolutely possible. Next is price. I may not be the lowest price, and that's okay. I don't necessarily want to be the lowest price, okay? But people will search by that. But if they check some other things, that they 5-star premier host, king beds, pool, there might only be 3 or 4 people there, all right? And I'm not the most expensive, but I'm not the cheapest. So I'll be there somewhere in the middle. So this is the VRBO search and the filter. And it is so important that you're not only as accurate as possible with everything, but you're as honest. You're underselling, you're over-delivering. You don't want to oversell and under-deliver, because that doesn't get you 5 stars. All right. Now, we talked about this filter for a very good reason. All right. Believe it or not, this is what's going to get you seen in front of more people, because when they do a search and they see 700 homes, they're not going to want to go through 700 listings. So they're going to get pretty granular. Yes, they will get granular. They want to get to maybe 10 homes at most. So you may not realize that, but there are people, and the people that are searching and checking boxes and checking maybe 5 to 10 of these boxes to get down to those 10, those are high quality guests. You know it, and you shook your head on that too, because you realize people who are that picky are also the ones that are willing to pay for it, because they're going on vacation and they want to go ahead and have everything that they want for that vacation. They want the king bed. They want the oceanfront. Maybe they want the discount. Maybe they want the 5-star reviews only. All right. So I hope this helped you out. Again, if you have any questions or any comments, right below, you've got the comment and question section. But remember, hit like and subscribe. And we're going to see you again next week on VRB Outstanding and Vacation Home Rescue.